That's a fun game to play. It's called, is a car backfiring or is it gunshots? I don't know what that was. Here we are, the Harrogate Shopping Center, which is... we're going into Kensington. It's election day, hon. The turnout for the election is horribly low. I was just in my neighborhood of Bridesburg, and there was only 150 people who voted, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As a citizen of Philadelphia, the city has gone through a lot of changes in the last 8 years. This is the Scanlon Rec Center in Kensington, I think, or is it Harrogate? Who knows? Oh, in the last 8 years, I'm going to bash the mayor a lot, but I'm going to give him a little tip of the cap. One thing the city has improved in the last 8 years, I would say, our parks have gotten better. And one of the reasons why our parks have gotten better is because, we have a soda tax now. So every time you buy a little bit of soda, you have to pay $0.015 per ounce. Wow, the basketball court looks amazing here. I don't think I've even been to this playground since they redid it. So this playground was just redone recently, either because of the soda tax, but I believe this one is because of the Snyder Youth Foundation. Ed Snyder, who was the owner of the Philadelphia Flyers, he donated some money to this youth foundation, and this rec center has a beautiful ice skating rink inside, and they also have a nice little roller hockey rink right here. Right. I mean, I know it's pretty cool looking, right? So, all right. So, there's that. Yeah, and this playground just got renovated recently. That's the first time I've seen it. And here it is. Here is the ballots. I voted earlier today. I voted for myself. I also voted for Luke from the team store, Todd, and that was really it. I should have voted for the Let's Go guy. I had a brain fart. I couldn't think of people to vote for. I should have voted for Mrs. Captain. I was trying to do a reference video from Kensington from a few years ago, and my God, it's changed so much in just the last 4 years. It's gotten so much worse on Kensington Ave when it comes to addicts passed out on the pavement, and homeless encampments, and drug dealing, and murders, and carjackings, and car robberies, and everything has gotten drastically worse in the last 4 years. There has been looting, arson, all types of things. People being set on fire. And, but there's been some really cool things, too. Like, these old buildings right here were old warehouses, and the old Diamond Furniture, which is coming up down the street, it's been recently renovated. It was a big furniture store, and now it's apartments. Or I think people pay over $1,000 to live at Kensington and Tioga. So something good has to be happening, right? SEPTA riding the L the last 4 years. It was crazy, the things I've seen happen on the L the last 4 years. I've seen people die. I've seen people use it as just piss right on the L, shoot up. I saw a cop. There was a guy they thought was dead on the L, and I saw them like get a cop to come in, to come on the L to check on the guy. So the cop walks on the L and pretty much just kicks the guy to make sure he can, he's like alive, and the guy goes, ugh, he grunted. So the cop, like that's it. They just left him on the L lying on the floor. Down these little side streets, especially up closer towards K&A, there's been dozens of murders in the last 4 years. The parking situation, not only in Kensington, but all across the city, has gotten horrifically worse because we are allowing developers to either renovate or destroy old historic buildings and turn them into apartments like Diamond Furniture. But the thing is, they don't make enough parking spaces for these apartments. Developers have our politicians fooled, thinking most people take the L who live in the city, but that's just not true. A lot of people like to take their car. So because of that, because of the lack of parking spaces and more people moving into the community, parking's becoming a bitch. This is Kensington. We're getting close to Allegheny Ave is here. One thing that I've seen change over the last 4 years is this park has gone through many changes. It's I was here on August 18th, 2021. This the majority of this park, there were people encamped, and people were living here. Then the city did a major cleanup where everybody living in tents on Kensington Ave were offered assistance to move off the streets. Who were all right, so here we are at K&A. It is so continuously bad here, right, that there are people who have cameras mounted on that wall over there, and they constantly stream the people sleeping on K&A right here. That's how bad the crime is at Kensington, that they could just shoot a camera at a spot and they could tell you, like, we know this spot's going to constantly be bad, and that's K&A. I can't. So this was a Walgreens. This was a pharmacy. The countless businesses have closed. There's been a few that opened, but there's been a lot that closed on Kensington Ave. There was a Rainbow Shop, which is like a clothing store. That was down here for a long time. Over the past 4 or 5 years, I've seen ambulances save, it might be dozens of lives have been saved because of paramedics driving up and down, and they revive people using Narcan or other. So that's what, like, if there's like a really bad batch going around Kensington Ave, you'll see ambulances going all up and down the Ave. That's a cool mural. They got a lot of really cool murals on the side of buildings all across this section of Kensington. And in the Badlands, too. Kind of like, I guess it's like North Philly. So anyway, this playground here is McVeigh Playground. And a lot has happened to this playground in the last 8 years. Where, for one, I don't think it's open anymore. The last primary election they had here was in April or in May, and that was the last election. The polling place moved to Elkin School, which is down here 2 blocks. During the primary election, only 17 people showed up to vote in person at this polling place. I thought that was incredible. Now, I know a lot of people do vote by mail these days, but to have 17 people show up at an election, they're going to be demolishing, that's the word, they're going to be demolishing the rec center. And in the last 8 years, here are some of the things that happened. The pool had a leak. The pool last summer had to close a few days early, or a few weeks early, because the lifeguards were getting death threats. So they had to close the pool a few days early. And that's why everybody had to go swim in that Scanlon playground if you lived in Kensington. It's a little bit of a walk. People who worked for the Parks and Rec Center in the city, they had to get like preventative hepatitis A and hepatitis shots because they were exposed to human waste. A lot of the playgrounds in the city, especially in the Port Richmond area, Moncavage Playground, Samuel's Playground, they all had to get closed down, and then the city had to like remove the dirt that was inside the playground because there was lead contaminating the field. So I don't know if that's something going on with the McVeigh field, but it doesn't look like there's any access to the park right now. Let's see, here's another one of those. Just... yeah, that's a really cool mural. The Uber did this mural. They had some stuff near Kensington and Somerset where I used to feed chickens. Let me go to I'll show you guys the chicken lot. Yeah, I can't crawl. And if you notice, it's election day, and unlike my windows, Kensington Ave is pretty clean today. In the last 4 years in this vacant lot, there was a homeless encampment of over 30 people. Multiple people died of overdoses in this park. The city had a clean out of this vacant lot, and then somehow these stray chickens started showing up, and for a few months I was coming down here every few days feeding the Kensington chickens. D and Kensington right here. There was a used appliance store that was here for years. That recently closed. There were 2 bars that were on the intersection here. They closed. They've recently opened up a kind of high-end Mexican restaurant right here at Kensington and Somerset. I'm at the intersection of Frankfurt and Lehigh, and this, all these properties are new. Part of this is called the Kensington Courts. And some of these houses are going for like $300,000, $400,000. It's my old grade school Conwell. And over the last 4 years, so much has happened in this parking lot. One, there were encampments. The parking lot was so out of control, they had to fence in the parking lot, which is only 20 yards from a school, if that. And now everybody's out of the parking lot, and they're right down here at Kensington and Cambria. Go ahead, hon. Go ahead, go. And within the last year, I've lost a friend of mine who you know, grew up in Port Richmond, and he lived in Philadelphia his whole life. And having that stuff readily available right down the street, it's, yeah, well, what are you honking for, hon? Now I'm going to go slower. Above the speed bump. I hope you get the red light. I'm going to make it so you get the red light. There you go. She's going to run it. She got the red light. I got her stuck at the red light. Let's go. That's what you get for honking. People were going over a speed bump. She was honking. So yeah, I've lost a friend. And my big thing is, I don't know, like, yeah, hon. Now you want me to go? Okay, you're a sweetheart. having drugs readily available down the street, that's not a problem everywhere. And if it wasn't so easy to get, I don't know if we would have so many deaths. I know people would still get it and there would be pills and there'd still be an issue, but the fact that it's so easy and everybody knows about it, I think that's the main. People come from all around the country to get their drugs on Kensington Ave. Like, they want to it's crazy. It's crazy.